Welcome to Balanced Life with Debbie Carlin Boyle. Conversations connecting to a healthier you. The show that gives you all the latest and greatest health and wellness information to inspire you to live a life of balance and joy. Debbie Carlin Boyle is a health and nutrition coach, personal trainer, and fitness instructor who helps her clients live in balance with everything that feeds us, in addition to the food on our plate. Please welcome your host, Debbie Carlin Boyle.
Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for joining me. So excited to have you here. You have reached my live podcast, which is Balanced Life with me, your host, Debbie Carlin Boyle. This is conversations that connect to a healthier you. I got a cool conversation with an in-guest studio today. So in-studio guest, I said that backwards. And I'm really excited about it. And I think even if you know a little something about this subject, we're going to talk about chakras and essential oils and sound baths and all kinds of wonderful ceremonies to kind of nurture your from the inside out, to complement all of the self-care things that you're doing. So I think you're going to find this conversation today beneficial. And I would love for you to become part of this conversation as well. Since we are live, and if you are listening live, you should call in. And so the number here, if you're not driving, take this down, is area code 323-524-2599. Again, 323-524-2599. Just chime in. You might have a question, you might have a comment. Maybe you've worked with my guest today, or you take one of her classes or have done one of her ceremonies and you just want to endorse that. We want to hear from you, because that way it's not just a conversation between myself and my guest, but it's a conversation that incorporates you as well. One of the few podcasts out there that does a live show. So I started this over 8 years ago, and I'm not giving up. Even if it's the middle of a work day on a Tuesday afternoon, we're going to make this happen. So I also want to tell you a little bit about me. I am, we said at the top of the show, I'm a personal trainer, a fitness instructor, and a health and nutrition coach. So what do? So I think everybody can use a coach in their life. And in this case, if you're trying to do something that betters your life, that creates longevity with quality, or my saying, as you all know, is to age young, and you just feel like you need a little bump, help either in the physical sense with physical fitness, or in the nutrition sense, or in the hormonal sense, because everything we do, our hormones drive everything, all our systems, and we have to get those in balance. Well, I'm here to coach you on that and help you with that. And I can work with you individually, with groups. I do workshops, I do talks, I even train clients on Zoom from all over the world. So the pandemic kind of kicked that in for me, is that I was able to go, out of be there right in the room with me kind of situation. So I would love to help you. And to do that, you can go to my website for a free one-on-one consultation. So that is Balanced Life by Debbie, DEBI.com. So you got to get that DEBI in there in order to get to the right website. And there you're going to see where it says have a consult with me. And then you click on there, it's going to ask you a few questions, and then it's going to send you a time that we can meet on Zoom and we can talk about what might be out of balance. For instance, maybe you have the exercise down. Maybe you think you've got the food down, and you do, but you're stressing out about finances and maybe a career change or a relationship, or your sense of community is a little bit off. Well, as we know, there are many things, we know this from all of the zones, that the longevity zones, that we need to get things in alignment in order for us to have that longevity with quality. So I'm here to help you put things back into balance, one little actionable step at a time. And I'm here for you to also be accountable to, and to just, have somebody to bounce off of that has some expertise in the field of health and wellness. So give it a shot. Let's talk. Just let's have a conversation. You've got nothing to lose. All right. We're going to get on with the introduction with the show today because I'm really excited. I want to take the time that we have to go through everything with my guest. So today, we're going to explore the space inside with my guest, Brenda Shearer. What is the space inside, you ask? Well, according to Brenda, it is the journey that one takes using breath, movement, and energy, so you may embody your deepest self while moving through your flow and embracing your heart's safe space. As a master in all these practices, Brenda leads others by intertwining the elements of yoga, sound meditation, crystals, sacred cacao ceremonies, and aromatherapy so they can honor the divine light inside. So let's delve into the energy of chakras, aromatherapy, and sound meditation, and perhaps pique our curiosity to go deeper. So will you please welcome my guest, Brenda Shearer, to the show.
Hi, Debbie. I'm really well. Thank you.
I lost my sound for a second. There it is. It's back. Okay, I got muted, so that's why I was kind of... Thank you for coming in today.
Oh, my God. Thank you for having me. This is very exciting for me.
I got excited when you agreed to do this. We're going to get to your beginnings here in a second, but just full disclosure, Brenda and I know each other. We both work for the same studio in Westlake, California. Westlake Village, I should say, California, because there is a Westlake. And it's called Westlake Yoga Company. Shout out to you and anybody that's listening there.
Absolutely.
Hi, Westlake Yoga Company. And we met each other there. And I actually did a workshop with Brenda that got me so inspired to ask you to come. You got to come do my show because it was so informational for me, and it was taking my health and wellness practice up another level. So I think everybody needs to do that, which is why we're doing this today, which is so exciting. I think we need to start from the beginning. So, could you talk about your beginnings? Where are you from? Where were you born? What was your education like? How did you get into doing what you do today? All the things that I listed.
I love that. I was born in California, in the Valley.
Me too.
So
where?
Probably neighbors. Well, now it's called West Hills. It was Canoga Park.
Oh, okay. I'm Encino. Van Nuys Encino.
So grew up there, moved to Colorado for about 7 years, and then I was 18 and I moved back to California on my own. And I really became a big runner and health and fitness. I don't know if I'm dating myself, Karen Voigt. And
oh, totally.
Yeah, Jane
she used
Fonda.
to work at the Bay Club where I worked. I worked with Karen. I actually took her classes like 10 years ago.
She was amazing.
Yeah.
I even did Jane Fonda back in the day.
Me too. Beverly Hills. Went to her studio.
We were probably on the mat.
Yeah, we were in the same. Yeah.
And then I really evolved with my running and moved a little bit into boxing. And I did a lot of Taibo with Billy Blanks.
Me too.
I'm in a lot of the videos.
I got trained through one of his disciples to teach for years. Jonathan DePaz.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know Jonathan?
Oh,
yeah. He used to teach out in Malibu where I used to do Bill. And then Billy came to Malibu and started teaching at Malibu Gym. So I got to take with him, which is so cool. Anyway.
6 degrees of separation.
I know. It was so funny. I didn't know this.
So I did all that. And when I hit about 50, I couldn't run any longer, not because of my knees, but because of some other issues in my spine and my hips. And I sort of started to get into yoga. I like to think that I had a present yoga practice while I was running because really it's about meditation inside, and running gave me that. It was this euphoric place. I like to be by myself. I always say I'm going to be the little old lady in her garden, talking to the plants and the trees, not worrying about whether anybody else is around me or not. So
running can do that for you. And just, it used to take me, because I was a runner for a very long time, but I do have the knee issues.
Yeah.
And it used to take me, I used to feel like, I think it was 7 or 8 minutes in, and then you just didn't even know you were running anymore. That's when it went deep inside yourself. It was just that first initial getting warmed up, getting out there, and then everything was gravy from there. You know, that endorphin high just took you into yourself.
And I think it's the solitude. I think that through yoga and any practice, I do too. I still go to the trails and I do some bizarre thing I called wogging. It's between walking and jogging.
Oh, I love it.
I'm not sure what it looks like. But
who cares?
It gives me a sense of like connection back to that. But I think any form of yoga is an essence of life. It isn't whether I'm doing an asana on a mat. That's just one part of it. It's about how I'm living my life. And for me, when that happened, I was really searching for something, and a friend led me to that yoga practice, and from there it evolved very quickly for me. And I think it evolved quickly, one, because I'm older, and I wish I had landed in this space sooner, but it isn't how my life journey certainly took me. And for a while there, I was always about how much information can I gather? How quickly can I learn it and memorize it and make sure that I know it? And when I stopped stepping into that space of the fear of not knowing something and understanding I will always know less than I know.
There's always something.
That the joy is the journey of like, looking at this book and then going over here and understanding how it applies to me. Because the only person it matters to is me. It doesn't matter what you think of my journey. It only matters that I'm on it.
No, but the journey that you're on, which is kind of why we're doing this today, and getting the education or absorbing and memorizing and getting all that is actually helping others, because you're an incredible yoga teacher.
Thank you so much.
And, you know, and then all of these other teachings are providing a service for others to benefit from. And so what your journey has been has also helping so many, you know, learn, because I'm very new to yoga. The kids, because I was the Fast and Furious girl, you know, Taibo, running, all of that. And my kids, being dancers, were yogis, you know, and they were doing that. That was part of their dance protocol anyway. And, oh, Mom, you need yoga, your posture, your temperament, you know, all of this. And plus, you know, I was a personal trainer, so weight training, getting in the gym and lifting heavy things were really important to me, because that I found a mental space in there for me, too, which is how I ended up getting certified. People following me around the gym saying, can you teach me how to do that? So I went and got educated, because you don't want to teach anybody without having the certifications and the proper education. And, you know, I just realized that I needed to slow down. And when I moved out closer to, we have my daughter Marissa's mutual for both of us, because she works with us, to be near my granddaughter, because it was COVID and Marissa was pregnant. That's when I started the whole yoga thing. And it's very new to me, and it's very scary, because I'm in my late 60s, so it is a scary time to start. But I can tell you it has made a huge difference in my body and the way I feel and the way I look at things. Not necessarily I was already active, but also it got me to slow down, because things are starting to slow down anyway. I need to honor that. And I'm finally honoring it, you know, and just, I love it. I can't get enough.
I think that the slowing down process is a way to take more care. It doesn't mean you have to do less. It just means you approach it differently.
Yes.
And with that insight of the yoga, and of course, you need me to have certifications. I need to know what I'm doing when I'm teaching you yoga. But along that same line, I have a certification for Cacao Ceremonies, which there's no governing body for sound or cacao or crystals or things. So those are learned experiences that I get all my knowledge from other people, and I'm grateful for it. And but it's a compilation then of taking that information and finding out how it applies to me very personally, rather than from a book and understanding that I have to memorize it, because this is fluid information. When we move into
Constantly.
the chakras, we're talking about fluid energy that in my body is going to be different than the energy moving through your body, just like alignment is different.
Yeah.
But alignment I can point to, right? I can guide you and say, start here. And then let's see how you need to adjust that to adaptability to be fully focused and helpful to you. Whereas when I'm working with the chakras or cacao or sound, it's an intuitive journey for me. And working with chakras specifically when we talk about energy on the inside, it can be very woohoo, right? Like, woohoo, what is she talking about? And
I think it's misunderstood, so people don't. And that's let's get into it, so people can understand what is the origin, the history, and what are they, and why.
Why? I don't know if you really can say a why. They are inside of us, and you can choose to move through that energy, or you can say that that is not necessarily something I connect to. But they have, through different religious backgrounds, each, like there's Chinese medicine who has the meridians, and the Hindus that have the chakras. It's like working with, I like to equate it to a rosary. We have a rosary for Catholicism, but you have a mala for Hinduism. And if you look in, it's how we pray, it's how we meditate. How you choose to term it is up to you, I think. But we're talking about physical, I believe, literal wheels of energy inside the body. And we normally look at the first 7 from the root, then we go to the sacral, to the solar plexus, to the heart. Sorry, I use my hands so much.
No,
to the throat, the third eye, and then your crown. There's also a large thought that there's more than that there would be 13, and there's intermediate, smaller levels feeding into your main bodies. And then on top of that is between 112 and 114 chakras.
Oh,
right?
my goodness.
And they're all small levels of energy feeding in, supporting your organs, the blood flow, the tissue, the breath, and energizing us, allowing us to move in a better way. So when we talk about our energy, if we start at the base, if you start at your root, which we talk about in yoga when we stand on our feet, that the soles of our feet root us to the earth. So beneath the mat, beneath the ground is the earth. And I believe she holds us all up. And we find our stability there. We believe that the root is what, as a small infant from being in the womb, begins to find their connection of safety, of well-being, moving up through the sacral region, which is your creative, reproductive energy, that travels then into the solar plexus, which is where our ego and our power and our fire live. And then we get to the heart. And the heart gets to be the bridge between the lower physical bodies and up to the energetic subtle bodies, of where we move out of what we feel like we can hang on to. Like, I can feel my feet, I can feel my reproductive center, right? I can feel my power. And then we have to trust the heart to take that energy and bridge it and move it into a space that takes me to my voice, to my throat, to my words, to my third eye, which allows me to travel into a journey I might not understand. People talk about trust your intuition. That's your third eye.
That's the third eye.
You know, and I don't always know what my intuition is. Sometimes I go, what does that mean? Like, I don't feel anything. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. And that's okay too. And then from there, we come to our crown. And I believe that the crown allows us to release all the light we carry on the inside and share it with the universe outside. We all have this power inside of us. It's whether or not we're in a place where we're ready to move through it or examine it or allow it to help us live a more fulfilling life in a calmer place. Because everybody has suffering, everybody has struggles, everybody has joy and bliss. It's how do we find that place to arrive with both sides of that dynamic and be settled with it and receive it and respond rather than react.
How does one apply then? So do you need to work with with somebody who is like a master in, I know like there's chakra meditations where you can listen to a meditation. You can actually go somewhere where they're doing those kind of ceremonial type things and apply that way. That's the only way I've been able to apply it, is in a meditative state. Is that, if somebody's interested in activating all these chakra areas of their body, is that the only way? Do they need to be in a meditative? How does it work, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Work?
Yeah.
Like, I think, we don't have to go someplace to have somebody help us through it. I think it can be very helpful, especially when you're just starting out. I have references for a couple really great books that
we can put that up on the show notes.
At the end, because there's so much information. You can Google 7 chakras, and it will pop up, and it will give you the colors, the elements, the sounds, because there's a carrier sound, there's a carrier of that sound, which is typically an animal. An elephant is your root. A crocodile is your sacral. It's water, it's fluid. So there's sounds that you vibrate. And we believe that when we vibrate these sounds, they don't necessarily mean anything, but they're a centering, calming vibration through the body that I do think it's helpful. I do sound with a couple, and I specifically pick certain sounds, certain crystals, certain chakras when I know they're coming in, because I know that they're struggling with a dynamic outside, of their personal life that's very hard. And I think we're trying to find ways to calm ourselves down or energize us, because we don't always need to stimulate our chakras. You'll find a lot of people who say they're through their heart space are very compassionate. They're always giving. They're putting 1,000% out there. And I will tell you honestly, anybody who is there for everybody is probably not in the right space. They're overactivating their heart space, because you have to step back. To be a really compassionate person, you have to have your own personal boundaries. Yeah. You have to have compassion for yourself first. And it doesn't make you. That's right. It doesn't make you selfish. It makes you in control and caring of your own self first. So, yes, I think it's great. You have the 7 stones in front of you, representing.
I do.
Again.
Can we put up pictures, Tony, of the chakras? That'd be great for people that are watching.
So we got the chakra stones when we did the workshop at Westlake Yoga Co., which was great, and they provided a set of the 7 stones of coloring with the crystals that correlates with the wheels of energy on the inside. And I think that it can be overwhelming. So yes, going to somebody and sitting through a meditation where they might guide you, or a yoga class where they say, okay, this is how these postures might affect your chakras, opening them, slowing them down. You have to figure out how you're feeling. If your solar plexus, if you're always angry, if you always need to be in control, if you're afraid somebody has more power than you, that probably speaks to an overactive solar plexus, because there might be something in your life going back down to your root.
Which one's the solar plex one?
The
then?
middle one, the yellow one. The yellow one, yeah.
This one, okay.
So your root is red, and your sacral is more orangey, and then you move into your fiery sun, and that's a good way to remember it. Your heat, your ego, is yellow.
Ah, okay.
If that helps.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then you move to the green.
The green is your heart.
Heart. Oh,
and then blue, indigo is your throat. And then your third eye. And this is where you get a little, because some say a little purple, some say a little light blue.
Yeah, there's like a bluish purple.
Yeah, and then your crown can also be a very gentle purple or a white light, because it's 1,000 lotus petals, and it's exploring all the light. And then you can have, again, moving into the 12th and 13th chakras, which is hovering above you, hovering beneath the root to a 0 level. So there's a lot of layers.
Yeah, a lot of layers.
A lot for you to explore and start to play with, and you don't have to memorize it all. You just get to say, how am I feeling today? Like, I feel really unhappy, I'm feeling a little down. Do I feel like I'm not being heard through my own voice? And I would often say, first examine how you're treating yourself before you examine how you feel like you're being treated by others.
And can you apply like a quick meditation if you know you need to step back, if you can kind of identify when you try to see how you're feeling today, and let's say it is your solar plexus, you're being very bossy, you're moving too fast, you can't slow down, and then you want to. What do you suggest someone does in that situation for themselves?
Yeah, I would say if possible, it'd be great if we all had 30 minutes every single day to center and ground. And, life doesn't always present us with that. If you can take 5 minutes anywhere you are, sit on your porch, sit in a chair. I always say step outside. Feet to earth is one of the best things that you can give yourself. Take some breaths in. And when you breathe in, breathe past your chest to your belly. And once you move the space into the belly, you are giving yourself permission to start exploring how you're really feeling. And you can tap into, because really maybe it's not your solar plexus. Maybe it's your heart space feels hurt and you just got loud because you felt like you weren't being heard. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
I think everything is so integrated and so held together by layers and layers that we can isolate one or more of the chakras, but I think you have to look at the whole picture.
The whole picture,
most of the
because
time.
they're all sort of coming into play.
I always had an overactive solar plexus all through my 20s. I was very loud.
True for most.
I was very broken, and I was very bossy. I work hard on not being bossy anymore, but I don't know if I'm very.
Well, it's good that you're a teacher. I think
not
people
sure I'm successful
because
with
you're
that.
a leader. I think there's a difference between being bossy and leading. And now you're leading groups and they're listening and responding. That's not bossy. That's
Thank
just.
you. But it took me a long time to get there, and what it took was for me to understand. And I will tell you, this is what got me there. It allowed me to say, okay, I am this way because I'm really feeling broken and hurt. And without going into all of the details, because that would be a whole nother show for a whole nother day, I needed to go back to my roots and understand and accept that my history and what is part of me is never going to change, but I could accept it differently. And then it could quiet the heat that I felt in my solar plexus. I didn't need to be in charge. I don't need to be in control, of which I'm not anyways. But I also could find my heart, and I could be with more compassion. I could quiet the voice that felt like it was never heard. And I could move upward from there.
That's a lot to discover in yourself. A lot of people don't know how to stop and realize that and then do something about it, and you actually did in a positive way. That's a really hard thing for somebody to pull back from, because we're so habitual in our habits. And when you get, I have, as a television commercial producer for 30 years, so I led a large group of people. I was in charge. I got used to that leadership kind of where everybody asked me questions and I always had to have answers. And then by the same time, I had to find a sense of diplomacy to work on all of the things that came up, because there were things every second, that you had to deal with. And I was just on this fast track, and it was part of the reason why I found exercise, because it was a way to separate what's going on here, and then running and getting into my own head, and then playing tennis was a sport with friends. It was a sense of community. It was a way to balance. But I think some people get caught in the treadmill, of running that fast pace when you are younger, and you get stuck there. And to really assess and pull back and realize, okay, this is not the road I want to be on, because I'm going to crash. Yeah. And
I think, too, is that we are afraid to trust our own judgment, that we rely too heavily on other people's opinions and our self-value becomes based on your opinion of me. And it doesn't mean I don't need to grow and I can't be a better person and there isn't ways for me to explore being a broader-based human being. But within that comes, who said that your opinion of me should matter more to me than the opinion I have of myself? And I think this avenue of stepping in, there is no end. You get to just keep journeying and following something that interests you, that takes care of you, that feeds you, that's nurturing to you. And for me, I don't have to run so fast anymore.
Yeah,
I don't have to get there, even though there is oftentimes I wish I'd found the pathway here a little sooner, because I am sometimes envious of others who I'm like, I think it's brilliant that you arrived here in your 30s or your 40s or your 50s. Now that I'm in my 60s, I just find such value in it, and I am in awe of the people around me who I learned from regardless of their age, and I am grateful for the people who think I have something to offer to them. And that's a gift.
At big time.
Yeah. It's a big gift.
My big thing is it's never too late for anything to change, for anything. No matter what it is, that you're going through, what it is you have to get off of and change. I think we all kind of grow up thinking we're not good enough and what other people think matter more than anything else. So I have to look this way, act this way, perform this way, give or take this way, because what will people think if I don't?
Exactly.
And to step back and say, that's not what's important. It's what matters, what you think, what matters to you, how you is a very difficult thing for individuals to do. So I admire you for being able to do that and to seeing your way through, and now in turn coming full circle and really making a difference in others' lives as well. I want to talk about, I think we're going to take a quick break here because I do have a sponsor, and we're going to come back and talk about how we apply aromatherapy, what essential oils are, what they mean, how we apply aromatherapy with the chakras as well. Yeah, and then I want to get into your cacao ceremonies.
You just told me I would have brought you.
I know. I see enough. I want to try it. I figured I was going to get you on it. And, and talk a little bit about sound and the importance of, the sound baths as well, and how it all comes together. So we'll be right back after a word from one of my sponsors. Cicera Olio de Oliva is an extra virgin olive oil company with a mission to provide high-quality, current-season Italian oils to families. They have partnered with 2 centuries-old family farms in the Tuscany region of Italy to grow, harvest, and bottle their amazing oils. Founded by a nutritionist who has a love of the land, sustainability, nutritious foods, and of course, Italy, they strive for a peak freshness and high nutritional content in every single bottle. All of their oils are current season, extra virgin olive oil, bringing you a true branch to bottle experience, and I know firsthand. So, for an offer, go to www.cesiroliva.com and enter Balanced Life 10 for 10% off. I know you're going to love this healthy and delicious addition to just about any meal. We are back. Thanks for joining me today. And if you're just joining us, you know that I'm a live show and we want you to become part of this conversation. I have my guest here. We're talking about chakras, essential oils, sound baths, cacao ceremonies with my guest, Brenda Shearer. And we want you to become part of the conversation. So if you don't want to call in, you don't have to. But if you do, here's the number again. It's 323-524-2599. If you want to make a comment or ask a question, you can do that right now on my YouTube channel or my Facebook page. I or myself or my guests will get back to you post-show. And if you're watching the show after the fact or listening after the fact and you have a comment, a question for my guest or myself, that applies as well. Go to the comment section. And if you're on my YouTube channel, just go right there and rate the show. We want to hear from you. So I would love to get your feedback. All right, before the break, we were talking a little bit about essential oils. So I want to do what we did with the chakras, if that's okay. Get to the origin of it, the history behind essential oils. And then we'll talk about the application, how you use it, and, how most people can dig in.
Well, essential oils, aromatherapy, started as healing, homeopathic medicine. And so it goes way, way back in time. I still use them. I mean, right now, rosemary oil for the hair is the rage, right?
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay,
Yeah,
good
see,
to know.
so you can rub
I mean,
it
I
around
use, you made an oil for me that I love, that I use. I don't use perfume. I just use the oil. Every day.
Yeah, I
every
don't
day.
use, since I got pregnant, I can't wear perfume anymore.
Oh,
so
yeah, I get it.
essential oils for me, this is more aromatherapy, obviously, than since we're not dealing with the physical health.
Yes.
More of the mental and energetic health. So oils, I think, again, allow us the opportunity to arrive into places. So typically, if you were going to use an oil, you'd place it at the base of the hand, maybe at the bend of the elbow. You could place it in the breastbone, right near the heart space, the throat, the clavicle, the ears. And oils take about 20 minutes to absorb.
Oh.
So you, for instance, peppermint is a wonderful oil, not just because it smells great, but it's also an analgesic. It's great for headaches and sinuses, and you can do a peppermint halo around the head, and it just brings you, I think, a sense of relief. Maybe better than your Advil or your Tylenol as an exception.
It's a good start.
But the essential oils in connection with your chakras can be fantastic. You can take an essential oil for your root and rub it on the sole of your foot and get into the base of the body, because the soles of the feet obviously are the roots of the body. You can take an essential oil and rub it on your low back for your sacral area. You can take a oil for your solar plexus and rub it beneath your belly button, heart space, right at the breastbone, the throat, and then the crown of the third eye and the crown of the head. You can tap. Lavender is considered to be like sort of that universal oil that is like a clear quartz. It's, if you're going to take a crystal and compare it to an essential oil, lavender can sort of tap into all the bases, where like a clear quartz can tap into all your chakras and all your energies because it's programmable. It's able to be washed literally, energetically, and then reabsorb your intention however you'd like to place it. So you kind of have that. I personally am a citrus-based human. I just like orange and lemon. I like vanilla. Vanilla to me is a base, and it makes me feel like I've come home.
I think that's what you made for
vanilla
me.
and orange.
And orange, yeah.
And probably
that's
almond
yes,
and musk.
These are all my favorite.
Yeah, so a
I
little
just
bit
love
of
it.
rooting. You know, the sandalwoods and the cedar woods give us that bent sense of rooting. Frankincense, Nag Champa, which is a traditional Indian Hindu scent for meditation and divine connection, which again I think you can use from the base all the way to the crown. There's so many opportunities to use rose. Rose and honeysuckle for the heart, lemon, again, the citrus, the vibrance for the solar plexus. When you're feeling a little sluggish, when you feel like, oh my God, I've got to go out and do this presentation, and I don't feel ready for it. I don't feel like I have my ego, my drive to protect me. And so you can incorporate these things, these oils at different places in the body, and you can use crystals to lay on the body that you can lay down with every single crystal that aligns with your chakras, one at the head, one at the base of the feet, and then the rest on the body, putting on oils.
You're saying like these crystals
you
that
could place,
go
right,
with, yeah.
right. You could take one at the base of your feet and then lay them with your oil, drawing your hands to your nose so that you inhale that essence, where you pause for a moment and allow the mind to stop worrying, as in shh, and it just centers itself down. It gives you a place to arrive.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and I think arriving is important and really hard to do.
Yeah, I think the quiet down.
Yeah, we say go meditate. Well, people go, what? I don't even know how. And I go and I sit and I close my eyes and they're like, yeah, I got nothing. And that's why it is nice to have somebody guide you, to give you permission to not have a quiet mind. We don't always have quiet minds. We don't always feel connected to all these things that we want so desperately to hold on to. And so using all of them in conjunction with one another gives us so much opportunity to say, this really worked for me on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, I tried something different because that didn't work on Wednesday.
Right.
because we're never the same from moment to moment.
No. And different circumstances that come at us, yield different reactions and different.
100%.
Our bodies, that whole somatic healing thing, our bodies respond to, things.
Yeah.
People don't realize if you're dealing with something emotionally or you're dealing with something that is triggering for you, it can cause something, whether it's back pain or whether, you have gut issues, your immune system is in your gut. For you have to be sort of working, and nobody's ever at 100%, but you have to be working at a high level with your systems in order for your gut to be able to stay healthy and not be inflamed. And there's so many things that inflame our guts that it becomes sort of a catalyst for other parts of our body that go down if we can't keep that clear and free. So I can see how settling into a practice like this, using the crystals along with the aromatherapy can just bring you back to a neutral spot.
I mean, how many people do you know have diffusers? They put essential oils in their diffusers, and the reason for that is one, it smells good.
Yeah.
But two, without maybe even realizing it, they're allowing themselves to move, whether they prefer a wooded scent. Maybe that just speaks to them. I just like to feel grounded when I'm at home. I like to feel centered in my home base, my literal home, and then my metaphoric home, which is the vessel, the body.
Yeah.
And we move through, we talk about the hips. I mean, you do this for a living as well. People carry so much in their hips and our shoulders, right body, left body.
Always. We're always.
We have energetic centers where all the energy's traveling up, what we call nadis, and there's like 72,000 nadis, so electrical currents going through the body and traveling up this main line through the spine, swirling around it like a serpent, crossing at different levels. And you can either move with that or not, but if it doesn't speak to you, it doesn't mean it's still not happening.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's okay if it's not your thing, but I suggest to anyone, then you do find something that's your thing.
Yeah.
It's like believing in a higher power, whether it's a universal spirit or God or the chair or whatever you need to do to place it outside of yourself is really important to your overall
health, because it affects our cells. There's a physical deterioration that happens if you don't respond to it. So this is a positive way to respond to 100%. It, is what you're saying.
Yeah, 100%.
With the oil, so do you suggest, so if somebody wants to get into, practicing with the crystals and the oils together, do you suggest that people have, since different oils have different benefits, have sort of not a medicine cabinet but a little tray of different oils that go along with the crystals that they, depending on what they're dealing with, could use?
I will tell you, having tried hundreds of oils, and I make them for classes.
Yes, you do make them.
And I for a long time was also working with oils that I didn't particularly like.
Yeah.
So I was like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
I need to authentically like what I'm offering someone, And so, like most things, that is based on the inside, I think you should work with things that attract you.
Yeah.
I think you should go out and smell things, and if you like it, it will work for you on every level. It's like the clear crystal again. You don't have to have one for everything. You don't have to go out and have it all in order to find something that works.
I wear my clear crystal.
Yeah, exactly. And you carry that with you.
I do. I carry it with me a lot.
Yeah, I wear the same jewelry.
Me too.
There's a million things I could put on my body for each day, for each class, for different colors. And I'm like, you know what? This just works for me.
For me. Yeah, exactly.
And I believe in that. Again, it's about trusting yourself. You don't have to have 72,000 crystals or oils to know that you have the energy of all those nadis floating inside of you. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Go what works for you, even if it's just one. Because I have one oil right now, but I love it. I use it at night, so it's soothing for me to put it, put it on, all the points here, and then here, so it's closer to my nose, so I can really smell it when I'm lying down. It's very soothing. It puts me to sleep at night.
Too. Just a little dab
it
on your
lands
pillow.
on there. My pillow does have the oil. It does land on there for sure from moving around. But it's very soothing and very calming for me too, and which is where you want to be.
What oil is it that you like?
Well, I only have the one that you made me.
Oh.
So it's the vanilla, and the citrus scents.
The orange.
And, yes. And I think there's almond.
Musk, and the musk in it.
Yeah. But the vanilla is one of my favorite scents, and it's pretty much what I smell the most. But I can tell the citrus is in there because I love like limes and lemons and, that kind of scent.
They're bright. They're kind of uplifting.
Yes.
And vanilla is a base rooting scent.
It's my favorite. It's also got something to do. It also can be not an aphrodisiac, but it also can be an attractor. And as you know, I'm single, so I learned that. I've been using vanilla.
Dose you heavy
well,
on
yeah,
the vanilla
yeah. You
next
might
time.
have other potions too. We'll talk about that off camera, but yeah. So I wear vanilla because I've read about it. You know, being that along with citrus is supposed to, like the what do you call it? The forma, not the. What are they called? The female, the moans. What are they called? Not the pheromones. Why am I losing it right now?
I don't know. I'd like to help you,
but it's the essence. It's the sense that somebody gets off of you when you meet somebody.
Okay, I know what you know.
When you're attracted, when you have attraction. What are they called? Pheromones. Thank you, Tony.
Where are those applause? Right? Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I like that.
We got there. Yeah.
I think
the pheromones.
And again, if I can take this back to where we started I'm certified in yoga and many things. But after that, I think these journeys that are about energy and internal work and inner joy and inner peace, it's just that. Mm-hmm. It's your journey, and it's lovely to go learn from people and be able to read. I'm a book. I just love books, and I buy more than I'll ever read probably. But what I enjoy is being able to open a book to any page, specifically about the chakras, and look at that, and then look at another book that I had and decide how does that resonate with me? And sometimes they don't. Sometimes I put a book down and I'll go, you know what? That book is not for me, either the way they're writing or the way I'm absorbing it. And that's the brilliant thing of deciding for yourself how you feel about what you're looking at and how you're learning about yourself, how it applies to you, not how I think it should apply to you. Right. I think crystals, I did the same thing. I overbought. It was like, ooh, let me get this and this. Couldn't
get
this
enough.
Yeah. And then I looked at them and I thought, I love them all. But what were you thinking?
Yeah.
What was I thinking? And I wasn't. I was accumulating.
Yeah.
And there's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So I say less is more. And then when you're ready for more, it will evolve into that. And hopefully more organically than it did for me. I had to go through that part first and then come back to the
But at least you had things handy.
I'm sure my husband wished it had gone the other way,
Sure.
And he goes, what did you buy? Why did you buy that? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why I bought it, but I
thought you had to have it.
I did. Yeah. And then sometimes I look and I go, ooh, silly purchase.
Yeah.
Right?
But you never know. Now it's with you. I assume they're still with you.
Crystals always stay with me.
Yeah.
I mean, they're around everywhere in my yard, little ones, and I offer them up to the trees and the plants, and
I love that.
Yeah, I talk to everything, and it never talks back, which is great.
It doesn't have to.
Yeah,
it's what's going. What you're doing for your longevity is incredible. Can we talk about, because we're losing time here, but I want to talk about, because I'm really curious, because all of this intrigues me so much, and we talked about before we even started that we could go down a whole rabbit hole. We can talk for hours about this, but I'm really hadn't quite heard of the cacao ceremonies that you do. What are they? Why are they? What do they do? I know what cacao does for us from a health standpoint,
Okay.
and how it is considered, a superfood.
Right.
But how do you apply it?
Cacao, the first time I did it, I like sound. I knew that was something I wanted to pursue.
Okay.
So for me, it was very organic and energetic, and cacao is a pod, and it comes from the cacao trees, and there are these pods that they open up, and they are in a gelatinous sort of goop, and they get roasted in the sun in the more traditional way or by fire, and it is the original block-based form of what you would call chocolate. And there's many variations now on the market. I don't know how pure they are. I couldn't speak to that, but I try to source mine ethically from wholesalers that are buying them from indigenous people who this is their practice, this is their life, and it is a feminine form of energy. So we honor Mother Earth. We call it Mama Cacao. And when I hold a cacao ceremony, it's plant-based only. So you do plant-based milk. I season it in my recipe, however you want to qualify it, is Himalayan salt, cayenne, date sugar, empath powder, cardamom, and you heat it over the milk. I have a wooden whisk that I do in a Mexican clay pot, and then it's served, and I put rosebuds in it.
That's the little red. That's the rosebuds.
Those are rosebuds. Yeah. And really, you start a ceremony by inviting in the elements of the practice, earth, air, wind, and fire, and you call it in however you'd like. We usually hold circle to honor everyone joining into the circle. You sip the cacao, and it's a heart opener.
Okay.
And it lands you hopefully into a soft, serene heart space that's not caffeinated. Like that would be the difference between people go, chocolate, isn't that, caffeinated? And there is caffeine in it.
Yeah.
However, cacao doesn't hold that chemical compound component that caffeine does, where it becomes more of an addictive
stimulant.
Quality. Yeah. And this is a lower stimulant over a longer period of time. So you hopefully just allow yourself to open and step into that space. I think, again, like all things, with the right intention, we receive what it is we're looking for.
Yes.
And usually
so
with
cool.
cacao, I'll do that small circle, and then I'll do meditation with sound bowls. As people recline, you're invited to journal sometimes if that's kind of calling to you, if you feel really tied into whatever essence is flowing through your body.
At what point do you drink? You
drink as the circles open.
As soon as the cups are from the beginning.
Yeah, as soon as the cups are presented to you, you start drinking because it will thicken.
Yeah.
So you going to kind of, and you never would put your cacao, for instance, in a microwave. You would never bring it to a boil.
Okay.
You always want to warm it slowly right before it boils to keep the integrity of the cacao.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really sweet. Like when I do it at home, I invite people into the kitchen. I have been invited again I do a fundraiser for breast cancer, and it's at a campground. They do a glamping event, and I do about a 30-person ceremony up there, and we do it over an open fire, and people get to watch and prepare it, kind of add their own additives themselves and make it their own, and then we do yoga, and then we get a take ceremony with it.
Oh, how healing is that?
Right?
I love that. That's so sweet that you're doing. That's very cool that you're doing that.
I feel very fortunate to have been invited. So, yeah.
Well, obviously you're good at what you do. For somebody to seek you out and invite you, that's very, very cool. Oh, I want to be part of that.
Yeah, you can be.
Our time's up, but I do want to hear about sound bowl, sound baths, and meditation, and how that applies, how it goes with everything that we're talking about.
I think if you took sound and if you wanted to say it in just a few words, sound is vibration. Yeah. And we are vibrational creatures. And so once again, you're talking about the movement of energy. And when you lay down or sit up in a chair to receive a sound, be it sound metal bowls or crystal bowls or any other instruments that are calling into your space of vibration, your body is going to receive it whether you want it to or not. That's the difference of sound. Yeah. I don't have to lay a hand on you. We travel through sound, and this is sound. So your body receives it. It starts to entrain to what it's receiving, and hopefully we're moving the energy in a way that allows you to align your energy, your chakras, your just creative soul, the light that you have on the inside. It's there. And all of this is to help that flourish.
Wow. That's fabulous. I was going to ask you for final words, but before I do, and that really was some really good final words, but before I do, I want to let people know who are listening, we have it up on the screen, but for, how people can reach you. What's your website? Where should they go?
It's BrendaShearerYoga.com. Is my website. My Instagram is Brenda Shearer 3, and my email is brendasheareryoga@gmail.com.
And I'll have that up on the show notes on my YouTube channel for everybody to explore. So if you're driving or you're not listening live and you can't see it, then just go to my YouTube channel. I'll put that up there in the next day or so. So now we're getting to the point. Would you have anything coming up for people to know?
Actually, because I do teach at Westlake Yoga Co., I also have a home studio in the Calabasas, Woodland Hills area, and we'll be starting on Mondays and Wednesdays small yoga classes. It's in a garden in an outdoor studio, and on I believe it's Friday the 8th or the 7th, I'll be doing with another teacher. We're going to do a wine and unwind on a Friday evening. So we're going to be moving around, doing a little sound.
I live in Calabasas.
Oh, you're my neighbor.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so bad with this microphone. And we're going to be doing a little wine and a little sound. And another teacher is going to be coming in at the beginning of June to do some meditation. So my big downfall is I'm not very good with my website. I'm not a person who likes
I think it's really simple and to the point. So you guys should go there. Go to this website. Spell your last name.
SHEARER.com.
Brenda.
Yeah.
So final word, just final words, a sentence, just one last thing.
My final word is, don't be afraid of what you don't know. Be afraid that you're not taking the time to find out.
Oh, good one. Oh, good. We're leaving it there. Yeah. That's fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for this education, for just your whole essence is just really created in this room, has made it a really safe space for us. And I really appreciate you and what you do and your time and energy for coming here today.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to have been here. So,
yes,
as always, the eternal student. So
thank
you so much today.
Oh, my God. Thank you. And thank you, the audience, for listening to us today. We want to hear from you. Go to my Facebook page, Balanced Life by Debbie, DEBI, or my YouTube channel, same thing, Balanced Life by Debbie YouTube. Make a comment, ask a question, let us know what you think about the show, and we'll get back to you. And as always, keep going out and finding those conversations that connect to a healthier you. All right, bye, everybody. We'll see you soon. 2 weeks. There's the applause. Take it back.